I've gone from 287 pounds to 164 pounds, and along the way, I've worked out with weights, I've worked out with cardio, and I've adjusted my diet in different times in different ways. But in all honesty, although I've lost the weight, I may actually have done my body some damage along the way. So what I'd like to do in this video, if I can, is spare you some of the pain. Health Explorer Neil Fellows here to get healthy and fit and stay healthy and fit and do it in a way that's unique and natural to you. Please subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of all of our latest uploads. Today I'm going to have a conversation about losing weight, using weights and cardio that I wish that I had had several years ago. I want to do this so that I can better understand my body and what it needs so that I can get it into the best possible condition. Joining me today is 21 times female world champion bodybuilder Sarah Taylor. So Sarah, why do we need to do a mixture of weight training and cardio training?
Really for overall health. Is probably the quickest answer, because if you do a particular sport, then your body and your muscles get used to moving in a particular way. So let's take, for example, running. You know, your body gets used to running, and the muscles used for running sort of become incredibly strong. But the muscles around them, the rest of your muscles that don't get used so often, sort of become consequently weaker. So you can actually cause imbalances, which can ultimately lead to more injuries. So doing a combination of cardio and weight training, even if you're if your sport is predominantly cardio, like cycling or swimming or running, it's always a good idea to do some weight training as well to strengthen all of the stabilizing muscles around your main working muscles. And it's the same thing with weight training as well. If you just do pure weight training, pretty much like I do, you do need some cardio as well to keep your sort of your cardiorespiratory health up as well, because weight training is not particularly taxing on your respiratory system. So adding a little bit of cardio can help build your overall fitness as well. So if you look at, for example, CrossFitters, they are the fittest people on the planet, and it's because they do this very intense combination of weight and cardio combined.
Sure. So the two things really support each other. I know from you gave us a challenge last year, which was to do more squats, and doing more squats actually really helped me to strengthen my legs. And in the end, I think last year I took off about 3 minutes off my run time for 10K, which is obviously quite a significant amount of time. It's just because I have more power there to sort of use.
Yeah. And for your running, yours is a long distance one, but even for your running, mixing it up with sprints, a higher intensity, because that, again, it works different muscles in different ways. And anytime you can use different muscles in different ways, you're going to strengthen your overall physiology.
One of the problems I had when I was trying to lose weight was that I exercised a heck of a lot, may have overdone it. So my question is for someone who is trying to lose weight, or someone who's trying to maybe even maintain a good weight in a healthy way, how much exercise should we actually be doing each week?
Well, the general sort of medical recommendations are about 30 minutes of I guess heart raising intensity kind of exercise every day. Which is about sort of between about 150 to 210 minutes a week, really.
Yeah.
And well, that'll give you a good baseline fitness. But if you're really trying to actively lose weight, it's probably not enough. And you probably need to be doing at least 45 minutes of moderately intense activity or exercise, whether it be weight training, running, cycling, whatever it is. You need to probably do about 45 minutes a day, at least 5 times a week. I mean, when I lost all my weight, same as you, I went absolutely hell for leather. I was doing 3 hours a day. I don't recommend that. I've since learned how to work smarter rather than harder or longer. It's about what you do with the time that you have that counts. and whether you can do it consistently. Those are really the keys.
I think it's a really key point for people to really understand, because I when I was trying to lose weight, I was in the gym probably for about 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours, trying to lose weight, and that can actually be damaging to the body, from what I now understand. So I really like your sort of philosophy, which I know we've spoken about before, kind of get in, get it done, get out. So working smart, obviously, really key to this. So if we were going to help people to accelerate their results, is there certain types of training, certain muscles that we should target? How should we do this?
Really, you need to be targeting the big muscle groups. So your legs, your glutes, your back, sort of thing. So if you are going to be doing, if you're going to be doing some weight sessions in amongst your other training, then really the big compound movements, such as your squats, your bench presses, your rowing, your deadlifts, anything that uses a lot of muscles is obviously going to burn more energy. Okay. But then mix it up with high intensity interval training. That's a really well-known way of just stripping fat. And that's where you do a very intense exercise for a very short period of time, and then you sort of rest, and then you repeat that burst activity. So you can do, and I'm actually going to do this in part of your challenge as well. So for example, a high intensity cycling exercise might be you sprint flat out. You might be on an exercise bike. You might sprint flat out for 30 seconds, then just sort of spin the wheels for about a minute, then do another 30 seconds absolutely flat out, then spin the wheels, and repeat that for say 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, that would count as a high intensity interval exercise, and you would burn an awful lot of fat doing that.
So high intensity, is this a really good way then of really sort of burning fat quickly?
Yeah, look, it depends on your goal. There's a number of factors. It depends on your goals, depends on your level of fitness to start with, and also the time you've got available. So if you're really just starting out with exercise, I don't recommend launching straight into high intensity exercise. You need a base level of fitness before you would do something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're just starting out, I do recommend you start with the more gentle exercises such as walking or cycling or swimming. I definitely don't recommend you go from 0 to running. Yeah. Because running is one of the hardest exercises on your body, and you're more likely to injure yourself. So build into it. Yeah, that's right. If you've been exercising for a while and you're very comfortable with the gym or whatever it is that you've been doing, then yes, you can start experimenting with high intensity interval training. Absolutely. And usually a good high intensity interval training session only lasts about 15 to 20 minutes. So if you're time poor, it's an excellent way of keeping fit and getting and losing some fat.
Perfect. Yeah, I love that. So when we do weights, because we hear different things with weight training, but what would be your recommendation for someone who's got a weight loss goal? How should they split their weight training between sort of legs and upper body? What would your recommendation be on that?
I would split it. I would do a 3-day split, and it's a very classic 3-day split. Okay. One of which is an upper body pull day. So that would include things like your rowing exercises, rowing, what else? Your biceps. Okay. Then you do an upper body push, which is your pushing motions, your chest presses, your shoulder presses, that sort of thing. Okay. And then you would do a solid legs day. And if you've never squatted before, or you don't have the mechanics, some people don't have the mechanics for squatting. I generally don't squat because even though, I'm multiple world champion, all the rest of it, I generally don't squat because I don't really have very good mechanics for it. Yeah. Whereas I'm sure if you've been in the gym, you've seen those incline leg press machines. Yeah. Those can be a very good substitute for squatting because you can put a lot of load on it. And because your back is supported, it's actually really quite safe. Yeah. Okay. But it's a big compound movement. It uses all of your legs. It uses all of your glutes as well. So yes, you can start doing, it can sort of help with fat loss. So that's a classic split: upper body pull, upper body push, and legs. Or you could just do full body. So each weight session is a full body session. So you'll probably have about 8 exercises, 2 for your shoulders, 2 for your chest, 2 for your back, and 2 for your legs. Okay. And then you would have a day off rest. So you do a day on, day off, day on, day off. Because when you're training your full body, it's very, very taxing on your central nervous system. So it's always a good idea to have a day off rest before you do the next session. So those probably be my 2 recommendations to get started.
Yeah, so we talked mostly about weights there. If we were looking at building some more cardio into this as well, how would you then split this between sort of weights and cardio?
Okay, so if I was doing the 3-day split, so I would do my upper body pull day, then my legs day, then I might do a cardio day. Okay, so I might do 30 minutes on the stepper, I might go for a long walk, I might go for a cycle. And then I would do my upper body pull day and legs.
Cool.
Okay, so I would do 2 weight days followed by a cardio day. 2 weight days followed by a cardio day. And then I would probably repeat that cycle twice and then have a full day off.
Okay. So would you do when you're adding cardio into it, would you take breaks between the cardio and the next weights, or would you just go straight into that the day after?
Me personally, I would go straight into it. But again, if you're a beginner at this, if you're really new at this, yes, definitely. If you do 3 days on, take a day off.
I think if you do, I'm just saying it's really important to just have that distinction between somebody who's new and hasn't exercised, or someone who hasn't exercised maybe even for a few months. Because I know that in January or maybe moving into summer, people think I need to get fit, and they hit the gym and maybe go consecutive days. And from what you're saying, and also my own experience, is actually we do start to damage the body when we go at it like this. So I think it's really cool to have that distinction between, look, if you're fit, you can do this, but if you haven't done it for a while or you've never done it before, do this. This is the place to start. Really important.
And look, even though I train, the intensity I train at, I take my rest days. Because I used to go hell for leather. I used to go 7 days a week, something like that. And it probably took a couple of months for my trainers to bang it into my head that really wasn't very smart, because I always had the attitude of go hard or go harder. That's just who I am. But like I say, I was getting a lot of injuries, and ultimately it ended in double shoulder surgery, my whole body falling apart because I had this absolute hell for leather kind of attitude. And that's really what made me realize that I had to train smarter rather than harder. And there's actually a very legitimate purpose behind the time off. And actually that's when your body grows, is during that time off, because if you're training every single day, when you're weight training, you're actually causing, during the training itself, your muscles actually kind of being broken down. The growth happens when you rest, and it rebuilds. That's when the growth happens. So if you don't give it the chance to rest and rebuild, you don't get the growth.
Got you. And
you'll start putting your body into this very stressful situation, and your cortisol levels will spike. And that's actually also anti-catabolic or anti-muscle gain.
This would be really interesting for a lot of people watching, I think, because I just what you're saying here, but also I spoke with Craig Pickering, who's a 2 times Olympian athlete for the UK, and he was saying that he wishes that he had known more about this kind of training that you're talking about, where you're actually taking rests when he was doing his training, because I think the general consensus back in the days where he was training was it was literally every day full out, whereas opposed to what we're talking about now, knowing more about the body now, advocating those rest days where people can really take time to recover, start to feel the benefits of the workout, and then go and do something different that continues to grow the body and achieve the goals.
Well, it's actually interesting, particularly sort of in the weight training sort of field. I mean, if you look back at the sort of the guys in the 40s and 50s and 60s, they didn't have the science that we have now. But they were doing it right. They would kind of train a day, take a day off, and that's just what they did. and they built some amazing bodies, and then we went through, I guess, the sort of the 80s and 90s when it really kind of did get crazy. And a lot of that kind of old school knowledge got lost, and people are now kind of reverting to that because without knowing why, they were actually doing it right.
Yeah. Probably listening more intuitively to the body and what it needs rather than trying to follow a schedule. Because I know that you mentioned HIIT workouts, and obviously there are quite a lot of things that we can do these days online, or there are things that we can buy like Beachbody, and there's a lot of sort of like HIIT training within those kind of things. And they have like a 90-day schedule where literally you're doing something every day. Now I did that years ago, and you literally go 90 days with very little break. There might be a week in the middle where you sort of tone it down, or a day during the week. But literally it's 6 days a week, pretty much full out on your HIIT training. So really value what we've talked about here, Sarah, because it just actually really helped people to maybe not make some of the mistakes that I made, and as you mentioned you made when you first started off. Sarah, based on what we've talked about today, what would be your challenge for people listening? What would be something they could take away and do that's practical?
All right. Well, this is going to be a high intensity one. Okay. And it's kind of old school. Do you remember at school gym classes, you used to do things like jumping jacks, where you jump up and down with your arms going out, and you did squat jumps, and you did burpees where you had to sort of kind of do a press up and jump your legs in and then jump up like this. Do you remember those?
I do. Yeah. Very vividly.
Right. That's the challenge. So what I would like you to do is 30 seconds of burpees, followed by 30 seconds of jumping jacks, which is the ones where you jump up and down with your arms out like this. Then 30 seconds of squat jumps. And then you rest, or you just go, I don't know if you're in your garden or somewhere, just go for a walk for about 2 minutes. Just walk for about 2 minutes. And then repeat this 4 times. So it's super short. It'll only take you 10 minutes. So give that a go. But I guarantee that you'll start seeing those after a couple of weeks. If you keep this up sort of at least five days a week, you should start seeing some results.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sarah, for your time today. Really do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It's really help people to understand how to train better. So some great tips there from Sarah about how to split out your exercise, and also how to get in the right levels of recovery, because recovery is so important to your well-being. Overall, you want to make sure that you're including some of that in it. So you're going to take Sarah's challenge. Sometimes taking a challenge can be life-changing. I'll be taking Sarah's challenge. You can see my findings from this challenge in our challenge roundup video, which is a monthly summary covering all of the challenges our experts have shared. To get that video and all of our latest health and wellness uploads, including interviews and reviews, subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified whenever we post. And if this channel can help your friends and family, please share it with them too. If you want to get proactive with your health, Total Wellness Club are developing health quests over at questly.life. Join while we're developing the site and get access to health quests that immediately personalise your health. You'll get to identify which of 10 critical health categories need your attention. You'll be able to track your progress, and you'll be able to help us develop the platform too. I'll put a link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.